You're tuned in to the Kansas City Weather Report, your daily source for the latest local forecast right here in KC. Whether you're planning your commute, weekend barbecue, or just trying to figure out if you need that extra layer, Wes has you covered. So let's dive into today's forecast.
Welcome to the Kansas City Weather Report. I'm meteorologist Wes Peary. Today is Friday, December 12th, and here is what's up with the weather. Okay, we got 3 days of pretty cold conditions to get through. Monday, you can make an argument. It's just average cold, pretty cold and average cold. Different things in my book. But anywho, let's get into it. Temperatures today only make it close to 40. I think we'll probably be stuck like somewhere between 35 and 40 degrees. But out there this morning out the door, it's about 25 to 30. It feels more like 20 degrees though. Lunchtime temperatures are near freezing. The afternoon high, again, somewhere between 35 and 40, will probably feel more like about the freezing mark. And for your 7 p.m. temperature, it's Friday night, people going out and stuff, it's still like 30. Well, it feels like 26. There's not going to be much wind. So just a plainly cold day with some sunshine here and there. I wouldn't exactly call it today cloudy, but definitely a good mix of sun and clouds. So that's when we call things partly cloudy, partly to mostly cloudy, if you will. Saturday, most of the day, it will feel like about like 15 degrees, give or take a few degrees. But it is possible that once we get into the afternoon, it starts to cool off pretty rapidly. Like it may feel like about 15 degrees for the morning, and then in the afternoon it starts to fall to about 10 degrees, and then wind chills possibly in the single digits. Maybe even 0 for the wind chill by 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Yeah, getting real cold real fast possibly on Saturday. And then for Sunday morning, it still looks like it's going to be about -5, somewhere between 0 and -5. For Sunday morning, tailgaters, if you're getting out there at 8 a.m., probably closer to 0. Thankfully, once we get through some morning clouds on Sunday, it's going to be sunny. And temperatures try to get up somewhere near 20, like 20 to 25 degrees for Sunday. It feels like about 15 for the warmest part of the day. So kickoff temperatures for the Chiefs game, it feels like about 10, and then about 15 to 20 for the wind chill then by the end of the game. And then temperatures kind of plateau. I guess if you were to imagine temperatures like on a graph, which I'm sure you look at on your phone when you look at the forecast, but they're not really moving very much, okay? From dinner time Sunday through breakfast on Monday, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., Sunday into Monday. It's pretty much going to be 20 degrees. And then we get up to the middle 40s for Monday. That's the day in which I was like, it's average cold. Like, yes, it's still cold because it still may be, 35 for the wind chill on Monday afternoon, but that's still 20 degrees warmer than what it was the previous 2 days. Now we're really starting to get back into the warmth. Now I think Tuesday, it's about 50. And we'll start to get overnight lows not falling below freezing, I think from Wednesday morning onward. It'll be generally somewhere between around 50 and 55 degrees from next Tuesday through the following Sunday. We'll keep an eye on Thursday and Friday as a front is trying to come through. And right now I only have us dropping close to 50 for Thursday and Friday, but it could be, more substantial than that. It could be in the middle to upper 40s because in the wintertime when cold fronts come through, it's actually cold, Like summertime, cold fronts do nothing. They cool you off a little bit most of the time, but it's really nothing substantial. But if we can stay with the strong cold front and a warm front or warm air doesn't come back in immediately after it, we could get a substantial drop. So, I don't think it's going to go from like 56 to 36 Wednesday to Thursday, but, a good 10 degree change in temperatures is completely on the books here for the middle part of next week. But even then, 46 degrees is a pretty average chilly December day here in Kansas City. Eventually, we're going to get some sort of precipitation. And winter, by the way, officially starts next Sunday. But with how long we will have a southerly wind next week and fronts coming through, like eventually there's going to be enough moisture to get some form of precipitation. Could that come around Christmas? Yes, it certainly could. And I don't have very high hopes for a white Christmas this year, the way this warm pattern has set up, but I've been surprised many times before. I was reminiscing earlier today about the really warm Christmas. I think it was 2021, in which it was like 70 degrees the day before Christmas, and then it was in the 50s the day of Christmas. It's very warm. I actually don't mind that. Like I would prefer a unseasonably warm Christmas day than an absurdly cold day. Okay, I would take a 60-degree Christmas day over a negative 10-degree Christmas day overall. You can play with your toys outside, because I still get toys at 33 years old. They're just kind of different. Okay, recapping the forecast. 35 to 40 degrees this afternoon. And just plan on Saturday being really cold, especially in the afternoon and the evening. It feels like about 15 for half the day and then about 10 for the other half of the day. Negative wind chills Sunday morning, highs near 20 with some sunshine, about 45 for Monday, about 50 for Tuesday, about 55 for Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday could be 45 to 55 degrees. And then I think we're back up into the 50s for next Saturday and Sunday as we begin winter. Thanks so much for joining me for this edition of the Kansas City Weather Report. You can find me on social media at Wes Weather. Have a good one.